Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to discuss a very common React.js scenario based interview question. The question is, imagine you have a large list with 15,000 or more items and your React application starts experiencing UI lag. So how would you optimize the rendering? Let's understand the problem and see how can we solve it step by step. There are a few reasons why the UI becomes slow. The first reason is rendering thousands of DOM elements is expensive. Second, whenever the component updates, React may need to perform reconciliation and re-rendering, which creates additional overhead. Third, operations like filtering, sorting and searching through a large list can also be costly. And finally, having thousands of elements in memory can increase memory usage, and in some cases garbage collection can also cause pauses. So instead of rendering all 15,000 items at once, we need a better approach. The primary solution I would choose is list virtualization, also called windowing. The concept is actually very simple. Even though we have 15,000 items, the user can see a small number of items in the viewport at any given time. So why should we render all 15,000 items? With virtualization, we renders only the visible items along with a small buffer around them. Libraries such as React Window and React Virtualized can help us to implement this. For example, instead of creating 15,000 DOM nodes, we may re-render only 30 to 50 nodes at a time, depending on the viewport and configuration. As the user scrolls, the re-rendered items are updated. This one greatly reduces the rendering work and improves the overall performance and user experience. But virtualization is not the only optimization we can use. There are additional optimization techniques. First, we can use react.memo to prevent unnecessary re-renders of individual list elements. Second, we should use stable keys, preferable a unique ID, and avoid using the array index as the key when the list can change. Third, we can use useMemo and useCallback when appropriate to memorize expensive calculation or callbacks. Fourth, for search and filtering, we can debounce the user's input, so we are not performing expensive operation on every keystroke. And finally, if the data is coming from an API, we can use pagination or infinite scrolling and load the data in smaller chunks instead of loading everything at once. So in interview, you can answer like this. For a 15,000 plus item list causing UI lag, I would not render every item into the DOM at once. I would primarily use list virtualization with React window. So only the visible items and a small buffer are rendered. I would also use stable keys and react.memo for list items, debound search or filter input, and use memo or use callback where appropriate to avoid unnecessary work. If the data comes from an API, I would consider pagination or infinite scrolling. And finally, I would use the React DevTools profiler to identify unnecessary re-renders and find the actual performance bottleneck. That's it. If you found this video is helpful, please subscribe my YouTube channel and follow me on Instagram for more Java full stack real-time interview questions. Thank you.